Hi, I'm Annabel with Journey for Earth, and I'm here in Venice, California with Hala Khouri. Hala is a mother to 2 young boys. She's a yoga teacher, holds workshops, is also a somatic counselor, and she's also one of the founders, or creators I should say, of Off the Mat into the World, which is a truly amazing organization which uses the power of yoga to inspire conscious activism. Hala, it sounds like you're very busy.
Yes.
How rewarding is the work that you do, and how do you feel it supports you as a parent, and do you get your kids involved in the work you do?
My work is incredibly rewarding. I count my blessings every day that I get to spend all my time doing what I love. I don't have to do anything I don't love to do.
I can imagine.
And that makes it much easier for me to leave my kids when I have to work, because my work is so meaningful. So much of my work is about inviting people to be aware of their own internal process and how that influences their activism and their work in the world. And as a parent, part of my activism is the way that I parent. And so I feel like my work reminds me to be in my own process and to be checking in and to be conscious in my parenting. Because it's easy to just go on autopilot, especially with parenting. And even me, I have to remember, the rules are the same with parenting as they are in yoga, as they are in activism, as they are in life, and I need to always be looking in and checking in. And as far as involving my kids, they're involved insofar as I bring them to a lot of the workshops. They're not in the room anymore because they would just be too disruptive, but they're around the energy of the work that I do, which I think that they pick up on. Yeah. I used to, when they were little babies, I'd strap them on and teach yoga, and so they were in the yoga room with me.
Yeah, I saw that once when I took your classes, actually. Yeah. Okay, great. So I just want to talk a little bit about Off the Mat, because it really does so many amazing things around the world.
Yeah.
Just if you'd please like to tell everyone just a little about the work you've done in South Africa, Cambodia, and in Haiti, I believe, this year.
Yeah, every year we do one international initiative. So we're going to be going to Haiti in 2012. We were in South Africa last year, in Uganda the year before that, and Cambodia before that. That's called our Seva Challenge, but that's only actually one piece of what we do.
Seva means service, right?
Yeah, Seva means service, and it's an incredible trip. It's a transformative trip, but to get to go on the trip, people have to raise $20,000. And so in order to even get to go on the trip, people have to put on events and ask their community for help. So the whole process is a leadership training. And at Off the Mat, we're interested in building leaders, doing things to inspire people to be leaders in their communities. And that's what we're able to do.
It also gets people together.
Yeah, it gets them into community, and it gets them learning to ask for help and just making things happen. We have trainings in LA and Los Angeles. And we do a lot of grassroots local stuff where we have local leaders that are leading people through a transformational journey to finding their purpose using yoga and introspection. Yeah.
What would you suggest to parents that, for example, don't live in LA, that want to make a difference, but are faced with these global issues that are really huge?
Yeah,
sometimes you get overwhelmed and you don't know where to begin. What do you think of baby steps we can take?
Start really small. I think that when we think too big, like you said, we get overwhelmed and it's likely we'll do nothing. Right. And as parents, we have opportunities every day to teach our children. I teach my kids about why we use cloth napkins instead of paper napkins, about where plastic comes from and why we use, we have more wood toys than plastic toys. So I think that as parents, without being overwhelmed, pick a few things, and mostly has to do around whether it's food or what we purchase. We have an opportunity every day with our dollars to make a difference on the planet and to teach our children about that. This year we're getting, we always get a live Christmas tree for Christmas that has roots that can go back into the earth. And so I explained to my kids why our Christmas tree is alive and it goes back into the ground. We don't have to throw it away after.
Yeah, so that's so sad. Be able to throw away a Christmas tree.
Yeah. So I'd say for parents to find 1 or 2 things that inspire you and share that with your kids. If you try to do it all, you're probably not going to do anything.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay, next I'd like to read a quote from your website, which is a really amazing quote. And here it is. Healing is embracing what is most feared. Healing is opening what is being closed, softening what has been hardened into obstruction. Healing is learning to trust life. This is, I think, is such an amazing quote. And it got me to thinking about our healing journey as individuals, as parents, and how important you feel it is for us as parents to look at ourselves honestly, to find our joy, face our fears, and find our creativity, and how can that influence our parenting?
I think that the most important thing we can do as parents is know ourselves well. You can read every parenting book, try every technique, but if you haven't dealt with your issues, it doesn't matter.
And they don't go away.
And our kids pick up on them. No matter how much we think we're hiding it or masking it, they pick up on it. And so our kids are such mirrors for us of any of the unprocessed or disconnected parts of ourselves. They are going to show it right to us. So the first thing to do as a parent is get yourself on that therapy couch as much as you can, so that you're not influencing your child unconsciously, and you're conscious of your own process. I think it's the hands down most important thing we can do as parents.
It's challenging to do, but necessary.
It's the hardest thing and the most important thing.
Yeah. So what would you say to parents though who maybe just aren't able to go to a therapist or don't have the time and just feel really stuck? Like maybe they're in a relationship, they want to leave and just can't see a way out.
Yeah.
What's the first step that maybe they can take on a daily basis to create change?
Yeah. I think a small step is 10 minutes a day of just being still, of shutting off the phone, letting go of the static so that you're actually tuning into yourself. I think that we can get into a cycle of being in survival as parents, and so from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we're actually not pausing to check in with what's happening inside of ourselves. So stillness doesn't mean you have to meditate, doesn't mean you have to just sit and be in a blissed out state, but whether you're journaling or drawing or meditating, just develop a relationship with yourself that's uncluttered, because you have a lot of information there about your process.
It's easy just to put on the TV and tune out. So.
Oh my gosh, and yeah, absolutely.
And then one last question. Have you ever had a moment where you felt overwhelmed, stressed out, and with the kids, they're running around, you need to get things done, and what do you do in moments like that?
Well, first thing I do is I acknowledge how I feel. Sometimes the way I feel is I want to kick my kid across the room. And I don't shame myself for it. I don't say it to my child, but I admit it to myself. I admit I'm feeling angry. I want to control my child. I have to admit all my own shadow stuff first before I can move past it. I think a lot of parents get stuck in shame or denial about how they're feeling. Yeah. So the first thing I do is acknowledge how I feel, and then I use my body as a tool. I get grounded, I feel my feet on the floor, I try to breathe, and then hopefully from there I'm either going to communicate with my child in a really conscious way. Sometimes my communication is, I'm really angry at you right now. That's it. I'm expressing how I feel and trying to model a healthy expression of how I feel. I get overwhelmed all the time, and I allow myself that. I sit for a moment and I allow my little mini temper tantrum, or I wanted these kids that were going to be this, that, and the other. So first is stop, acknowledge how you feel, let go of any shame or denial about it, feel your feet on the ground, take a breath, and then probably by that point you're going to be able to act in a way that serves your children rather than doesn't.
Reacting.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Hala.
You're welcome.
There's some great advice from Hala there. If you would like some more information, please go to Hala's website, halakhouri.com. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.